Welcome back. We have just listened to Dennis Banks. He's an activist, a teacher, a freedom walker, and one of the co-founders of the American Indian Movement. It was very good to hear what he had to say, and he's done a lot of work trying to help the people stay sober and healthy and, have their sovereignty. So, David, we would like to talk a little bit about gratitude. And I would like to know, why is gratitude so important in traditional healing?
Many times when we begin that walk towards healing ourselves, many times we just look at maybe those things that aren't working within ourselves. And so then the focus becomes on that wounded side, that dark side of ourselves. And a lot of times what I've seen with people is what I say, they set up camp there. And some say get stuck. And so it becomes a dark world for them. And so somewhere in that process, in that recovery, in that healing, we always want to remind everyone on that journey that you're holding two cups. And one of those cups is maybe on the dark side and the other one's on the light side. And that we have to, in that process, balance those two energies, those positive and negative energies. And they're both necessary and adequate. They feed each other. And so that it's about being able to embrace both of those. And so usually in the beginning of that healing process, the first step is to walking into that part that you don't know about yourself. Usually that's the dark side. It's that part that you have no relationship to. And so again, that's sort of an initiatory step. And then through that process, then we say you walk through the darkness into the light. And so with that, I have a dear friend, sister of mine sitting next to me, and I want to bring her into this discussion at this point, and Teya Valentina. And before we continue into that, maybe Teya, just tell us a little bit about you and the work that you do. And hello.
Hi, I'd be happy to. It's a pleasure to be back. And the work that I do in the world, in Marin and in the Bay Area, is based on this foundation of gratitude, in that we show up every day and there's a sense of prayer, and it doesn't matter what tradition or religion you are, or no religion, but that there's a sense of feeling that this is a gift to be in body. And to find that gift means sometimes shifting how we see the world. And we do that with each other, and we do that with soulfulness and a warmth of heart, and it's a will. There's a sense of activating one's will every day. And so you may wake up and not feeling so great, but then having almost a sense of protocol. We learn to brush our teeth. We learn to maybe floss. Mm-hmm. These things, and then but having a sense of protocol of, okay, I'm as I was hearing the prayers earlier, just feeling that place where I misspoke, a couple days ago with my own mother, as I was feeling my lineage of the mestizo in me, and this place of Peruvian, and where my mother came, and how I went to visit her, and we had some places I misspoke, and being able to feel that warmth in that, and that pressure in my heart, mm-hmm. and knowing I could do something about that. And that's the will, the ability to go, okay, let's make it right. Mm-hmm. And then there's a sense of something lifting off my shoulders and feeling grateful for that ability to feel and be in body. So, I'm just coming from my own experience that I know I need to make something right because I have the ability to do that. I need to not wait for assuming someone else has the ability to do something. I know within myself.
And so we're talking about taking responsibility, that self-responsibility. And somewhere in that protocol, what we find in our healing ceremonies or in that healing journey, we talk about the need to remember the ancestors.
Hope.
The need to remember where we came from. My lineage being Sami, the reindeer people, the children of the wind and sun, and remembering that I'm standing on their shoulders. And so that each morning, the gratitude, if we come back to gratitude, it's about me getting up with that sunrise, getting up with that early morning as the day breaks, as those morning birds are singing our eldest brother, the sun, awake. As he comes, as he comes over that horizon, bringing in the teachings, I'm standing there with my prayers, remembering my people and saying thank you as part of the journey. And so again, back to that remembering, back to what is it that I can do? Where do I belong? It's again remembering that in that gratitude, we have to practice. We have to have that protocol that Teya was talking about. And they don't need to be complex, and each one can create their own because we all have our own unique way. We say in some of our teachings that each one of us, is born with a special gift. Each one of us came here for a specific reason, and each one of us is carrying that gift within us. And not only are we carrying that gift within us, but we're also carrying the divine masculine and the divine feminine. We got within each one of us. We're carrying both those energies. We're carrying that fire, that sacred fire, and that sacred water. And how are those two elements within ourselves? Where are they? How can I each morning wake up and welcome that element within myself? And so this is sort of a beginning into that direction of gratitude. And how is gratitude, or why is gratitude so important for us? In the beginning stage, again, we say, with the ancestors, with the ancient ones, with those who came before us, because again, that's who we are. It's in our bones, and that's what we're passing on to our children. So with that, a special gratitude to all of you out there who are listening, to the ancestors and to those peoples and tribes that you have come from. And we hope that they're all in a good way.
Thank you. I think it's very important. I don't think we do count our blessings, and I do feel like if we don't appreciate what is good in our life, that we will lose it in some way. So before we continue on for the next part of our program, would you like to have a little music break with Marshall?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Changes in the weather, changes in my mind, changes in the clothes I wear, it happens all the time. Changes in opinions, changes in beliefs, changes in my judgments, I need some relief. No change in the truth, no change in the truth, no change in the truth, no change in the truth. Changes in the market, changes in the air, changes in the street outside, it happens everywhere. Changes in appearance, changes in my heart, changes coming by and by, a whole new chance to start. Changes, changes, you know that change is on the way. What will you do with life today? You might hold tight, dig in your heels. You choose how much of joy you feel. No change in the truth, no change in the truth, no change in the truth, no change in the truth. Changes in emotions, changes in my thoughts, changes in my actions, even as I talk. Changes in the light, changes in the dark, changes in the seasons while the trees grow in the park. No change in the truth, no change in the truth, no change in the truth, no change in the truth. Oh, no change in the truth, no, no, no change in the truth, no change in the truth, no change, no change, no change in the truth.
All right. Marshall McKittrick, thank you so much for that song. For those of you just tuning in, this is LaBrava with a special edition of a traditional healers forum from the four corners of the world. And my guest host is David Kukkola, and we were talking a little bit about gratitude before the break.
Yeah, and we wanted to bring that in this time of year because it's that time of year when we've come through the winter solstice, and now the days are getting lighter, and there's that transition, and so a part of what I wanted to sort of spin the table with Teya about tonight is how gratitude feeds the soul. And it sort of comes at a time where we have to, I look at the Occupy Wall Street movement, and the word occupy stands out for me. And how many of us are occupying our soul? And is not that what we are all starving from? Is that not the plague that's here? And is that not what our young people are saying in the streets? Occupy. And so let's take a ride in that direction, all of you, and see if you can open your hearts, open your minds, occupy your soul for a few minutes as we take that journey with Teya.
Thank you for that introduction of occupying one's soul. And like you mentioned, everyone needs to find their way of what even that means, because that word may conjure up different things for different people. But perhaps feel into that there's a warmth quality to it, and that the darkness that you spoke about earlier is such a necessity, because that's where things are birthed from. We are born in darkness in the womb. It is dark. It is rich. We plant the seeds. It is dark in that earth, and it is rich. And so to me, it's like we don't always have to seek the light. And I'm not saying booga wooga. I'm saying like deep in our heart depth, connection, and taking little moments of time and space, when we are doing our day-to-day interactions and slowing things down, kind of like there's that heartbeat. Right now that heartbeat is pretty fast in that background music and beautiful, and yet that drum beat can also be slow and steady and grounded in our feet. And so there's something about that, and it also is connected to our physiology and how then our adrenals are affected, and then how we perceive the world and how our health is affected. So there's something in how we can take these moments of soulfulness. So I'm attending right now to not just the theme of gratitude, but you spoke about healing and soulfulness. And I was at the store today purchasing an item, and there was a long, long line. And there was some background music there, and one of the persons next to me checking out someone else started to sing. And I started to sing and hum underneath her. And we just slowed down and was enjoying the moment, trying to send that through the line. Because, that's like how that daily art And I pray to be reminded by other people, when I have that frown line in my face and I'm speeding up and I've forgotten. In that forgetting, there's opportunity to be reminded. Coming here tonight was a great reminder. Mm-hmm. It was great. So how can we find gratitude? Is in that moment when that warm or cool air comes in through our nostrils. And we breathe that in and then drop it down the spine.
Beautiful.
There.
So, let's hum in those long lines. Oh, boy,
and laugh, and connect with each other's eyes. And little moments when a mama is she's tearing her hair out because the baby's crying and she's trying to get things done. Just a little, connection there, here and there.
And so in that, we want to remember that in the practice of gratitude, maybe it's possible that we can understand that our body lives in our soul. Our soul doesn't live in our body. And so when our bodies live in our soul, there is the initial gratitude of thanking that soul for carrying me now here, these 63 years, and how it's been patient with me, how it's been forgiving, how it's been acknowledging, how it's been telling me it's okay. And powerful medicine. So if each one of us could for a moment just realize we're living in our souls, our body is living in the soul. So I don't see the soul as really a place. It's a sense. And in that sense of soulfulness, when I can acknowledge that part of me, I get that feeling, and I can only describe it, Teya, more as a feeling of a sense of peacefulness, if you will, a sense of everything's okay. It's a sort of a sense of I'm on my path. I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing here, and such deep gratitude that I've been given this short time in history, these 63 years, to see that sunrise each morning, seeing these beautiful faces in the circle here at this KPFA. My granddaughter sending me a little video, her playing her first Christmas song. And there's music to my ears. So let us all sing. Let us sing to our souls.
That's very profound. David, do you feel that people who take the time every day to find something to be grateful for, do you feel like they're nourishing themselves more than people who only dwell on the negative?
Yeah, for some unknown reason to myself, maybe somebody else here knows the reason, but it seems like we, in this modern culture, we're raised in lack. And in that emptiness of lack, which the Occupy movement is addressing, in this great lack, there's a conditioning that as I grow, I feel that lack, not understanding it. And then as I get older, if I still avoid maybe that sense, then I say, I'm going to get me a job, make a lot of money. And so then comes that glorification of monetary value. Economics is not going to solve the problem of our economic dilemma we're living in. If we as human beings can start connecting with each other, if we can start showing appreciation and some deep gratitude for each other, in spite of our differences, in spite of what social economic class you live in, color, which church you go to, if we can start looking into each other's eyes, knowing that somewhere within that you are walking in your soul. And thank you, sister, for being here. Thank you for bringing your gift. Thank you for sharing your medicine, that shine in your eyes, that smile on your face. Thank you.
How do you think that we can begin with our young children to have them know gratitude more than lack?
For myself, I've been blessed with having grandchildren.
It is a blessing.
And I say that in many ways. One, I can correct a lot of the mistakes I've made with my children. And there's something that happens with age, those of us who are blessed to live a longer life. That age has a way of life seeping into your bones. And somewhere in there, you're starting to sense the values. What are my values? What are my priorities? And with that, as our grandchildren are starting to come forward, as our children are coming forward, what I've done for myself is I make it a point to acknowledge them. And that acknowledgement, I believe, is the beginning of healing. I have great relationships. I mentor young men, and I always welcome them and see the gift that they carry. And so I believe that in our willingness to welcome the youth, acknowledge them, and have our hearts and ears open to try to understand the language that they're speaking. It may not be the same language that you were raised with, because it's a new generation. And they're bringing new vision. They're bringing new ideas. They're bringing their imagination that we do not have. And so in the welcoming of the youth and bringing them in, rubbing shoulders and letting them know that they're born with a purpose in life.
That's very important. I feel that the young people are overwhelmed by technology, and they have not gotten the opportunity to develop their creative, intuitive side.
And absolutely, and that hands-on. I just this past 3 months I've been working on my old beat-up 87 Toyota pickup for my grandson. And the reason I love that old pickup is because he can change the spark plugs in it. He can change the oil in it. He can time it. If it breaks down, he can fix it. And there's power. There's power in self-reliance. There's power in independence. There's power in knowing that you can take care of yourself. And that it's not just something out there that's going to keep me alive. And not only is there power out there, but also in our youth, as they have this technological world surrounding them and them raised up in, they're also, it's interesting because I just took the cell phone away from my grandson.
He was upset, huh?
Yeah, he went into a mini breakdown. And he'd been shooting the emails off the hook to me the past, 24 hours, wondering when he'd go and get back. And I said to him, you first tell me the 4 things that you've learned of why you don't have it. Then we'll go from there.
Yes, that's it's hard with our youth today. We would like to continue this discussion, but I think we need to take a little musical break. Are you there, Marshall? Are you ready to give us another one of your songs?
Just because a friend doesn't call Don't build a wall. Tell them how you feel. Just because your wife doesn't change, don't go to blame. It isn't real. Assumptions make a fool out of you, out of me, and stories make the truth hard to see. Surrender illusion, let go of the fear. Life is easy and clear. Living life is easy and clear. Just because that clerk didn't smile, don't put him on trial, 'cause you never know. Just because your kid gave you a look, don't throw the book. Just let it go. Assumptions make a fool out of you, out of me, and stories make the truth hard to see. Surrender illusion, let go of the fear. Life is easy and clear. Living life is easy and clear. Living like each day is our last. Let go of the past. Makes us brand new. Loving is what makes us all kind, giving us peace of mind. You know it's true. Assumptions make a fool out of you, out of me, and stories make the truth hard to see. Surrender illusion, let go of the fear. Life is easy and clear. Living life is easy and clear. Living life is easy and clear.
Oh, thank you so much. That was a beautiful song. I like the words, what they said about trying to understand without necessarily judging. I think that's a part of what's going to help us as human beings.
Mm-hmm.